is MJ, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cabled toque worked in Alpaca Cloud, which is a DK weight yarn. There's 123 yards on one of these balls, and it's 100% baby alpaca. So for this hat, I'll be using a 4mm crochet hook, and this is a radiant wood hook from WeCrochet, and you can also get the yarn from WeCrochet as well. Okay, so I'm going to do a little gauge check here for you. So before you start your project, you can work up a little gauge swatch. And my 12 stitch cable is 2 inches. So this cable here is 6 stitches, this cable here is 6 stitches. So I have a total of 12. That equals 2 inches. And for my rows, I have 7 rows. And you can tell by looking at, you can see the rows here. So you can count those up. And in 2 inches, I have 7. So to begin, let's make a slip knot. And we're going to start by chaining 21. And now we'll work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2. And work single crochet stitches in every chain. So at the end of the chain, you should have 20 single crochet stitches. Okay, so I have 20 stitches. Now we'll chain 1 in turn, and we're going to be working in the back loops only. So the loop closest to me is the front loop, the farthest loop is the back loop. Chain 1 is not included as a stitch, so we work into the very first one. So just press your hook through the center of the stitch and just go through that back loop only and work a single crochet in every stitch. So for the remainder of the band, we're working this toque from the bottom up. So the band is worked first, and we're making a total of 85 rows. And all of the rows will be worked in the back loops only, single crochet in the back loop only, and 20 stitches for every row. So I'm going to work my band off camera, and then I'll meet you back up to show you the next step. So you want to work a total of 85 rows. Okay, so I've finished working up my band. So the next thing we're going to do is we want to slip stitch the band together. All you need to do is chain 1, and then we're going to fold the band together. And we're going to slip stitch it. So to do that, we're just going through your first stitch and going through the first stitch on the other end and pulling through. So we're just doing that for each stitch. So I'm going to finish just slip stitching my band together off camera, and then I'll meet you up when I'm on this end. Okay, so now our seam remains to the outside because when we fold the band up, it'll be covered. So now we'll work single crochet stitches around the band. So we're working in every row. In total, we want to have 85 single crochet stitches. So just sort of looking at every row just helps you to kind of guess where to put your stitch. So I'll just complete working around off camera and then I'll meet you up on the other side. And once you get all the way around, you'll slip stitch in the first single crochet to join. We'll then chain 2 and work a half double crochet into every stitch around. So to work a half double, we're yarning over, going through the stitch, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and work a total of 85 all the way around. Okay, so I finished my round of half double crochets. I slip stitched to join, and now we're going to begin our cabling pattern. So we'll start by chaining 2. And now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to work back post double crochets. So yarn over, stick your hook in behind, push that post down, grabbing your yarn, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So again, you yarn over, you go in from behind, sticking your hook through, popping it back out, pulling up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we'll skip the next 3. So 1, 2, 3. And now we'll work a treble crochet around the next front post treble. So yarn over twice, stick your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we'll do another front post treble, so yarn over twice. This time when we're doing a front post, we're going through the front of the post, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over twice, go in the next, around the next post, and now we're going to work back into the skip stitches. So we're going to go in front and we have to go back to this stitch here. So let's yarn over twice. So here's our first skipped stitch. We do our front post treble. We do a front post treble into the next skip stitch. And a front post treble in the last skip stitch. So now we need to work another cable across the next 6 stitches. So we'll skip the first 3, 1, 2, 3, and a treble in the next. A treble in the next, front post treble, and a front post treble in the next. And now this time we're not going to work in front trebles into these skip stitches. We have to go in behind. So yarn over twice. Going to push it out of the way. Come and grab that, and then you can just push that down out of your way so you can see. So complete your treble. Yarn over twice. Now we need to get the next skip stitch. So if you just push all of that work down in front, you can see these skip stitches a little better. So there's one, and then there's the third skipped one right there. So now we're going to get a neat effect of our cabling here. As we work, you'll be able to see that more clearly. So now in the next 5 stitches, we're going to work back post doubles. So yarn over, going in behind, going in behind. So we're going to work across a total of 5. So I've now begun the repeat. So we do 5 back posts, and then we're doing another cable across 12 stitches. So we'll do a treble, so yarn over twice, skip the first 3, 1, 2, 3, work a front post treble into the next 3 stitches. Yarn over twice, just not grabbing every, there we go. Yarn over twice, I'm catching stuff wrong, so I'm going to redo that. So yarn over twice, going around, there we go. So I've done 3, and now always the first cable we do, we're going to work in the front. So yarn over twice, find that first skipped stitch, and do the front post treble. Yarn over twice, find the second, and yarn over twice, and the last skip stitch. Okay, and now we'll skip the next 3, do a front post treble in the next 3. And again, we're going to work in behind. So the easiest way, I think, is just to push that work down to the front out of your way so we can see clearly the 3 skipped stitches there. So yarn over twice and work front post trebles into the next, those 3 skip stitches. There's the last one. Okay. And then we do our 5 back posts again. So I'm going to repeat this around now. So working 5 back posts and then the cabling over the 12 stitches. Working the first one in front, the second one in behind. Okay, so I've repeated all the way around. I'm finished off here with my last cable. So I have a total of 5 cables worked over 12 stitches. And you should have 3 stitches remaining, and we're going to do back post doubles in those final 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we'll slip stitch in that first back post double to join right up in the top and chain 2. This round will be a little bit easier We'll still continue to work back posts in all of our established back posts, but in the cable we'll be working all front post double crochets. So we'll start out working a back post in the first 2 stitches. And now we're coming to the cable. So you just want to kind of pull it apart so that you can see all the stitches. You should have 6 here in this crossover bit. And now you'll work a front post, getting these first 3 stitches that are kind of tucked in behind. And then the ones that are over top, you'll work a front post double. And then we're coming to this section. So the next section, your 3 will be on the top, and we'll work a front post again in these 3. And then we need to get the 3 that are tucked in behind, and that will be our 12 that we need to work our front post double crochets across. You want to make sure that you sort of count 3, 3, 3, 3, that you're getting all 12 of those stitches, and you can see now how this cabling, they're going in opposite directions, and that's what working in the front, working the front and working in behind allow us to get an opposite look there. And then we'll work our back posts in the next 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we come to the cable again, and you work your front post double crochets across those 12 stitches. And you're just repeating this all the way around, ending with our 3 back post doubles. Okay, so I finished off with my 3 back post doubles, slip stitched, and I've chained 2, and now we're just going to repeat our rows 2 and 3 throughout the pattern until we get our desired length. So we'll start off with our 2 back posts. I'm just going to go through this one cable again with you. We've already worked it, but now that it's sort of established here, we'll work through it one more time. So yarn over twice for our treble, skip the first 3 that are underneath, and then the 3 that are over top will work our front post trebles. And there's the 3rd one. And then we'll go over top to get these 3 that we skipped. So yarn over twice, work into the first skipped, you just have to pull the stitches apart really to just find them. Yarn over twice, and then find that last stitch tucked in under there. Okay, so then you can see how it's twisting together. And now we'll skip these first 3 that are over top, and we need to grab the ones that are tucked in behind. So yarn over twice, working 3 front post trebles across the next 3. Okay, and now we need to go in behind to pull these guys up. So again, I'm just gonna push my work to the front, out of the way, so I can see the 3 that we're working into. So yarn over twice, get the first one, and I know this is hard to see. It's really, you gotta just push your work out of the way, feel kind of with your fingers to get those stitches. This is a little bit of a slower project. You just have to kind of work through it slowly, but the end result's really nice. It's going to be a really nice toque when we're all finished. Okay, so I got my 3 there underneath, and then you can just push that stitches back. So again, you can see how our pattern's coming together, and then work our back post across the next 5. And when you finish this round, again, you're back to just doing your back posts and then your front post doubles across these. So this is all we're doing now for a section of the hat. You'll notice a pop-up. It'll tell you how many rows you want to do, and then we'll do some decreases and seam up the top of this hat. Okay, so I've been working up my rounds, and I've worked a total of 14, including our starting half double crochet round. So now what we're going to do is start making some decreases to start narrowing in the top of the hat. So I'm on round 15, and what we're going to do is chain 2 and work our back post double in the first 2 stitches. Because we start with 2 and end with 3, I'll do my decrease on those final 3. So now the cable will remain the same. We won't do any changes. So we're working our front posts across the next 12. So I'll do those. So now we're coming to our back posts. So we'll work a back post in each of the next 4. So there's 2, 3, 4, and we're going to skip the final one. And then we're just going to continue with working our front post double crochets in the next 12 across the cable. And then we'll do the same when we reach the next 5. We're going to skip the last one. So we're reducing every of our back post sections here down to only 4 stitches. You can just repeat that all the way around. When we get back to the last section, I'll meet you up there. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I have 3 stitches remaining. So what we're going to do is do a back post double crochet in the next 2. And then we're going to skip that final stitch there and slip stitch in the top of the first back post to join. And then we'll chain 2. And for this round, we won't do any decreases. We're just going to work in our established pattern, except now we'll only have 4 back posts between each cable. So work back posts in the first 2. And then we're doing our cable. So skipping the first 3, working front post trebles into the next 3. working back across the front of the stitches. Push that to the front so you can see those stitches in behind. And then a back post double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're just repeating this all the way around. Okay, so I finished up round 16. And now round 17, we're gonna work the same as our other decrease row. So we're leaving the last stitch over here as the one we skip. So we'll work 2 back posts, do our cable, work 3 back posts, and then we're skipping the last one. So we're basically repeating row 15 and 16 until we close up the gaps between these cables. Okay, so I've worked all the way around, and I'm just gonna skip now that final back post double. So we're just gonna slip stitch to join and chain 2, and now we're on to round 18. So I'm just running out of my second ball here. So I'm just gonna join in a new ball, and I'm just gonna use a thumb join to do that. It's a little harder to do this with my long nails, I've discovered. So you wanna go around your thumb twice, and now take the yarn and go between your thumb and the tails. Then you wanna push the tails under. Like I say, it's a little harder with my nails now. And then you just take it and pull. Okay, so now for this round, we won't be doing any decreases. So we're just working in the established posts that we have. So working 2 back posts. And when we get over here, we only have 3 back posts now that we're working through. So you can continue it, just continue around in our established pattern, and I'll meet you up at the end. Okay, so I've slip stitched to join, and now we're starting on to round 19, and we'll be doing a decrease again. So this time, I think because I have 1 stitch here and 2 stitches here, I am going to skip on this side this time, just so they're even on either side. So I'll work a back post in the first, and then I'll skip the next one. And then we're working, we've already done our crossover cable, so we're just working our front posts in each of the next 12 stitches. Working across the first set of cables. And the next. Okay, and then we're to our next section of back posts. So what we're going to do is work 2 and skipping the last. And then just going across and working our front post doubles. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around. I worked all the way around, so we'll do a back post in that last stitch. Slip stitch to join, and now this round we won't be doing any decreases. So just continue working in your established pattern. So this time we're only going to have 2 back posts to work into between our cables. Okay, I've slip stitched to join, and now we're on to another decrease. So this time we're going to decrease the final stitch on this side. So we'll start out with a front post double, work across your cable, your front posts, and then we're skipping the second back post double. So we're only working now 1 back post between each of our cables. So you can work that around, and I'll meet you back up when I finish that. Okay, so I'm loving how this is just slowly just coming in, decreasing in the top. So when we get to this final stitch, we're skipping it. So we're just slip stitching to join. We're skipping over that final back post double. Chain 2. Now is when I'm starting to get eager. I just want to really decrease it, but we have another round we need to do with no decreases. So work your back post double, and we're doing our crossover cable, and then we're just working that 1 back post double in between all of these cables. So let's work that round, and then I'll meet you back up for our final decrease. So for our final decrease round, we're just now skipping every back post between the cables. So skip the first, we'll work our cable, skip the next one there, and then we'll be basically finished. We'll be down to just having our cables. So we're basically just working front post double crochets now in every cable around. So I'm going to work those, and then I'll meet you up once I've done them, and then we'll just be fastening off and closing up the top of the hat. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I'll slip stitch to join and fasten off, leaving a long tail. So in total, I have, with my band, about 10.5 inches. And if we look at just our cabling section, I have about 6.5 inches in total. So you're going to take your yarn needle, and now all we're going to do is work through every other stitch. Just putting your yarn needle through every other stitch around. And then when we pull, it's going to pull the hat in. So I'm just going to go all the way around the hat, and then I'll meet you up again. So I've gone in every other stitch all the way around, and now I'm just wanting to pull the top of the hat closed. So what we want to do is do some weaving, because it's so bunchy, it wants to pop back open. So what we need to do is keep doing some weaving here. to really get it closed in tight. We're just weaving through the top stitches of the hat, just getting that pulled in so that it stays. And then once we start weaving back in the opposite direction, that's really going to secure it. But make sure you get it pulled in tight before you start going the opposite way. So I'm just going to start weaving now back in the opposite direction. And then even once I've finished that, I'll knot it too. I just don't want the top of that hat coming undone. And I'm just going to go back. So it really comes together nice by doing those decreases. You want to weave that end in. And then we're going to do a couple finishing touches. My baby hat, the pom-pom I'm putting on it has an elastic band in here. So if you order any pom-poms from me, I have two styles. So the elastic band is one, and then I also have ones that have little snaps in here. So what I've done with the white is I've sewn a button inside my hat. You can sew them to the top too, but if for any reason you want to take the pom-pom off, what's kind of nice is that it's then hidden. So you want to get your band to go through a hole somewhere. So I'm just going to do this off camera, but you just want to get the elastic band to pop through and go around that button. So I have that now attached to the top of my little hat. And our blue hat, we could put either a natural colored pom-pom or a brown pom-pom. If I wanted to go nicer with my hair, I would probably go with the dark brown, but for my daughters with their lighter colored hair, I'd probably go with the natural. I do really like the look of the natural, but for myself, I would probably go with the dark brown, but you can interchange them because of the snaps that you attach. It's really easy to switch them up depending on your coat or what you feel like. So also I like to attach a personalized garment tag, just attaching it over to the side. These tags are from Brick Bubble, and you can check her out. The link will be in the description box. And you can get them that you either sew the tags on, or you can buy the leather rivets to attach. And it makes it really easy. Now, I'm not hammering them on camera, but they do just snap in, but you can give them, they give you all the tools in the kits to hammer them. And the kit I have here comes with different colors, and I'll have the link for that on Amazon. You can get from Amazon. But depending on what tags you choose, like I say, you can also just sew the tags on as well. So that snaps in good, but you can give that a hammer afterwards as well. So next, I'm going to put the pom-pom on. So they come with one of these little snaps, and what we do is just seam it to the top of the hat. So that just gets sewn right there, and then you can just snap the pom-pom in. So what you need to do is just make sure you find a needle that will go through those holes That's the main thing. Sometimes I have to kind of dig through all of my needles to find one that will fit. Once I get it all the way around, I then just seam this. Now also, if you order the yarn from WeCrochet, they sell pom-poms as well, and they have the little strings that you just tie on, and they are really reasonably priced, and they have a huge selection of colors to choose from as well. My Wonder Fluff Rib Toque I showed the pom-poms that they have. And they're nice and round if you really like a nice full round pom-pom. They're perfect. Mine are a little furrier, a little fluffier. So then I'm just taking my yarn needle and weaving that end. Okay, so the next trick with any pom-pom is to give it a good old blow dry before you attach it. And it just will fluff it all up and make it look really good. Even after a while, after wearing it, if you just want to freshen it up, you can always blow dry. So this will just snap on. It's just getting the right angle and pressure to get it snapped in. Okay, so here it is with the pom-pom on. So all the links for the yarn, for the tags, the pom-poms, all these you will find in the description box. The colors that I used, I'm just finishing up my larger size adult here. I just have a few more decreases to do on this one, and then it will be finished up. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel.